I started painting the rum bottles in 2003, and at that time I was in my early 30s, and the whole thing about the rum bottles to me was that they felt like self-portraits. At the time, it was very much about painting images that I felt belonged to me. So I felt entitled to these, and I also, at the time, was drinking quite a bit. I would call it a problem, probably. And so I identified with the subject. They were kind of architectural. They looked like towers, and I was doing a lot of architecture at the time. And they felt just right. There was an aspect of still lives. To me, I always thought of them as little Morandis, and I felt also that there's a pop art aspect to them that's obvious. Years later, I stopped drinking. I've been sober for over 15 years now, and it's only lately that I thought, you know what, let's revisit this, because there's an abundance of access to these images, and I can research it even better. Also, looking back now with the perspective of being sober and, just being older, the bottles feel like a false promise, like a lie, in the way that when you look at this, the rum advertisement, like with a lot of advertisement, there's this feeling or this promise of great abundance, you'll be rich, all the ladies will come to you magnetically because when you drink this rum, good things happen. And that wasn't my experience at all, actually. Nothing good came out of that for me. But still, there's that feeling, that image, that dream that it sells, actually, that is similar to the images that are used to sell tourism. I can speak about the ones in Puerto Rico since I understand those well. It's interesting. They're kind of like half-truth. The hotels usually feature the landscape, which is beautiful. It's undeniable. A beautiful pool. The architecture of the hotels was mostly international style, was progressive. It talked of a better tomorrow. It felt really good, actually. Those buildings existed and exist, and the landscape exists. It's real. Is it real for those who live in the country? That's different. What the image doesn't show you is the obscene poverty around a lot of these places. So they're also symbols of colonial reality of an island like Puerto Rico. There's various layers of meaning that I understand, and I like to let them exist all at the same time. It's kind of a dream that was sold to myself, to many of us, as well as to the tourists that come to the island and build great memories there. Is it negative? Is it positive? For better or worse, it becomes part of your identity. It leaks in there. And it is a consequence of our history. Of course, I embrace it. And for me to paint it, for me to illustrate it, it's a way of appropriating that. It's taking that back. Even, the rum is a national product. It's a very alcohol-centric society. It's part of who I was and I am, actually. This beauty to it, the seduction to it. And that interests me, too. I love to seduce you into looking at my world. I like an image that you want to live with, bring in with you, and these paintings become kind of like parts of people's families. These are paintings I want to live with.